Once upon a time, a girl named Felicity and a boy named Peter bought an abandoned 1830s farmhouse in New York. And today, Monday, March 3rd, 2025, is our third morning waking up in our house. And what you're looking at now is the newest unpacked room. This is our sitting room. And opposite these lovely chairs, you can see our beautiful fireplace, which we haven't used yet, and I'm really excited to give it a try tonight. Part of the reason we haven't used it is up until last night it was surrounded by boxes. We also don't have any wood on the property, which Peter fixed yesterday. So it's been a really rough weekend, I have to say. The first morning we woke up in the house was super cold. We had several problems with the mini splits. One of them was simply not understanding the error message that it was putting out. We thought it was cycling itself on and off periodically. It turns out it was confused and we needed to adjust some settings, which we didn't figure out until late on the first day in the house. And so this floor especially was incredibly cold. It's still quite cold, to be honest with you. Part of that is because we have gaps like here along the door, and like this glass pane hasn't been fixed yet. The other challenge that we ran into the first day in the house was the shower. So let me actually take you to the bathroom and show you that. We needed to adjust the shower head such that we weren't making a giant mess all over the floor, which we didn't know on the first day. The first day we just knew the shower head was in the wrong spot and there was a lot of water on the floor. So we have since adjusted that, and you can see we've actually started getting some extra accoutrements. The night we moved in was a Friday night. We unpacked the car at 11:57 was the last thing we took out of the car, and everything in the house basically looked like this, just piles of boxes everywhere. We did get the mattress set up with sheets. We're sleeping on the floor upstairs. So the first morning we woke up, it was sort of a glamping experience. It was trying to figure out where everything is. All of our clothes were in boxes. We went up to the library because we were due to host a adult board game session. So that was the early afternoon. Nobody came to the adult board game session, which was fine because it gave Peter a chance to talk to the volunteer coordinator about an event that we're going to plan for next week. And it gave me a chance to pick up more books on hold, and then we came back and spent a couple hours unpacking. What has changed dramatically is the pantry. This room had all kinds of stuff in it. It's going to be our storage room going forward, and as you can see, there are different piles here. These piles are all completely different to the piles that were here when we first moved in. So the first day we were in here, Peter was really working on getting this reorganized and in some sort of workable shape. We also walked across to the wine tasting room. That's our new next door neighbor, and had some wine and nibbles over there, which was great. But yeah, the first day here, nothing, was easily available. It was sort of like, well, where do you start? Right? Which set of boxes do you start with first? I started unpacking clothes in the closet upstairs because I wanted to be able to just pull clothes out. And happily, I finally found my slippers, which were in a box, and I found my PJs. My flannel PJs, which I've been wearing pretty much constantly since then. So the other thing that happened on Saturday is that we found out that our fridge doesn't work. So the freezer part of the fridge is fine, but the fridge part of the fridge is not cold enough. It is room temperature, which in the kitchen, which is the coldest room in the house, is probably about 55 degrees. So happily, some friends of Peter's have a fridge that they are looking to get rid of when they renovate their house, and so that will be great. We can also call a repairman. The upshot is none of the refrigerated food that we brought with us is good anymore, and so we put some of it in a cooler, but I mean there's only so much that the cooler can do. So the fridge is broken, the shower's not great, our stuff's all in boxes. It was just kind of a rough day. It wasn't quite the glorious experience that I think I had imagined. Sunday we found out that the shower issue was largely an issue with where the shower head was placed, so Peter fixed that. And we found out that the thing we did on Saturday night before we went to bed fixed the heating system. Oh, the other thing with the mini splits, well, it was doing the short cycling. So it would run for a minute at temperature, and then it would give the double line error, and then it would defrost and it would kind of cycle through. Basically, it wouldn't stay on long enough to heat anything. And so one of the things the internet recommended was opening the unit and cleaning the filters. You guys, the filters were filthy because they have been, doing construction work in here. And this one, which is the one in the main room, when we opened this one, bits of the ceiling where it was patched, bits of the old lath and plaster seating fell out of the mini split unit. I don't even know how they got in there, but it was super gross. So happily on Sunday, fixing the settings to fix the error message and having fixed the filters, they are now heating. It is by no means 70 degrees in this room, but it is at least warm enough to no longer freeze your fingers. So everything seems to be going a little bit better on Sunday, right? Like we have a solution to the fridge problem in the future. We have heaters that are working even if they're not great, and then the water stopped working. If you've been following the channel for a while, you will know that we had some trouble with the water before we moved in, and we put some heat tape around the pipe, hoping that would work, and that did not work. So we took one of our space heaters, which Peter reminded me we had acquired just before we left Tulsa, put it right next to the pipes in hopes that that would thaw them enough. And it eventually did work. I think we went down about, I don't know, noon 30 or 1, and about 3:30 or 4, there was water coming back out of the tap. Because, of course, we didn't realize the water was gone until the tank was empty and it didn't refill. So poor Peter didn't get a shower yesterday. When we went downstairs, the exterminator who was here had put some mouse traps down. And when we went downstairs in the main room, into the basement in the main room, I heard this skittering sound on the far side, and it sounded like something was caught in the trap, was running back and forth. Well, it turns out that was exactly what happened, except it wasn't a mouse, it was a bird. Now, how the bird got down there, I don't know. It's supposed to be a sealed basement at this point, but happily, the trap had only closed on one of its toes, and Peter was able to capture it and take it outside and release it. So hopefully the bird lives. So as I was putting the kitchen together last night while Peter was out at Lowe's, I discovered, and I think I discovered this once previously and probably just forgot, but I really like the design on these metal handles. I love pretty much nothing about these kitchen cabinets, except I do really like these handles. So we may actually keep those going forward. It's interesting up close now. I can see that somebody did just go through and paint this red on the outside. I expect to match what used to be the red brick wall over there as well. It kind of makes me wonder if I could paint it a different color, but we don't need to worry about that. So this kitchen, you guys, has the least amount of storage space I have ever seen in a kitchen. Basically, you're looking at it. So that's your skinny cabinet, right, for your next to the oven things. That is a giant Lazy Susan that kind of works. And then these are the pot cabinets down here. These are the only 2 drawers that we have, which naturally are too narrow for our current silverware tray. And then these 3 cabinets up here, that's it. So that's the plate and bowl cabinet. That's the glass cabinet. There's a Lazy Susan in here as well, which is great. Peter's going to fill it with spices, which is awesome. We've always struggled in flat cabinets for spices. But you guys, look at this. It looks like a big cabinet, right? We have a set of 4 plates, and that's it. And then that's the whole bowl collection. And I can't even reach those top shelves. Like, that's as much as I can get on there. So it is the tiniest storage space. Obviously, the people who lived here basically did no cooking and needed no storage of any kind, because I can't imagine how you would have actually cooked in this kitchen. Now, there was a cabinet here, to be fair, that we took out for putting in the dishwasher, but even so, how would that possibly have been able to function as any sort of real kitchen? I do think it's funny that the first person to make a meal on our brand new stove was me and not Peter. Peter got something to eat when he was out yesterday, and so I made myself noodles and cheese, because the cheese is one of the things we need to use up before it goes bad. The plan, which I think I've mentioned before, the plan is to have this room be our big pantry, and that's what this is supposed to be for, so that we can come and go. This is an IKEA build, which, as you guys know, if you've ever tried to move IKEA furniture, it's not really meant to be moved. It's not really meant to be taken apart either, and so this has gotten super wobbly, so Peter got some backing, so A, so that we can give it some more structural support, and B, because of the way the moldings work, it's not going to go right up against the wall, and we don't want things falling out on the backside. So that's a project for this week. We didn't have this room wired with an overhead light, and so having the lamp in here is great. So right now we basically have pantry stuff over here, stroke kitchen appliances, which we're going to put the table up and then kind of stack them under and around the big table. Those are things that actually need to go in the pantry shelves. This is our growing collection of empty boxes, which is kind of great. And then this stuff, see if I can show you guys. This stuff is all the kitchen stuff that I have no idea where we're going to put it. It's a lot of baking dishes. It's a lot of that, stuff you only bring out every once in a while, like the cheese platter that's made out of a flattened wine bottle and stuff like that. My baking stuff. I mean, it's just, I don't know where we're going to put it. Probably in here somewhere, but where, we're not sure yet. So that's the mess that is that. Basically, what we've been doing is trying to make the rooms habitable and serviceable. So the first day we were here, it was pretty much the pantry. Yesterday, it was the kitchen and this sitting room, partly because the insurance inspector is coming, and needed access to this, partly because we wanted a space where the cat could run around and play on the carpet, which is what he's used to, and then also just so that we could have a space to sit and relax in the evening. This is, of course, by no means the way it's going to look in the end game, but at least it will work for now. And his cat tree is set up as well, so he has somewhere to hang out. We're not using this door at the moment because it doesn't lock from the outside, even though this is the primary door out to the driveway. And so I think some of how this space works will change when we get a door put in there. But at the moment, we're coming in through the kitchen. And part of the reason the kitchen is so cold, you guys can see there's no threshold. So there's about, I don't know, a half-inch gap between that door and the outside. And it was so cold this weekend, you guys. With the wind chill, it got down to like -2 Fahrenheit. It's only been in the 20s. I mean, it was a very, very cold weekend. Work has also happened upstairs, though it's by no means as finished as it is downstairs. So this is my office. Behold where I'm intending to work today. Yes, it's very simple. I don't know how comfortable this rocking chair is going to be. I got this rocking chair in the fall from a neighbor at the place that we were renting. And I like it because it's really low to the ground, which means it's comfortable for me. Peter sits in it and his knees come up a little bit, but I've got short legs, so that's really comfortable. So other than that, my room is pretty much still a storage room. This is the, pile of stuff that is mine. Some of it is long-term storage. Some of it I just haven't figured out where to go yet. This is largely art that we wanted up and out of the way so that we didn't have to keep moving it and potentially damaging it while we did so. This is what I spent a great deal of time on this weekend. This is our walk-in closet. So there's no shelving in here. So this was appropriated. This shelving actually usually has cloth drawers in it. So this was appropriated for shelving. Peter can reach up there. Again, I'm too short to reach up there effectively, and this side doesn't have it at all. So I have to say, it is really satisfying to have a closet that is actually usable. You can see we still have some boxes down here, but I can actually walk in here and see things and find things and not have to dig around in bags, which is wonderful. And then we haven't set up the bed frame yet. So right now the mattress is on the floor, which is fine. Peter did bring up the 2 nightstands just last night, and we put the lights on them, which is fantastico. Last night was the first night we tried sleeping with a down comforter, brand new. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh. Fantastic. The other thing we discovered on Friday night is that, let's see if I can show you here. I was standing here at the window and I was listening to the wind whistling, and I thought, why does it sound like I'm standing next to a wind tunnel? You guys see that gap there between the window and the window frame? It is freaking cold. It's like an air vortex in there. So that's something we're going to have them take a look at today. And you guys, the other thing I forgot, we were unboxing the comforter last night, and Peter swears that he bought a duvet cover for it. I'm sure he did, but we don't know what box it's in. And so this one is the box that we opened thinking it would be the cover. It's not. I had forgotten we ordered these really cute flannel sheets. Take a look at that pattern. Isn't that adorable? So I'm really excited to give those a try. Although honestly, so this thermometer is set to 63. All of the upstairs rooms are really nice and warm now that we fixed the error message. And I think it's because the rooms are just a lot smaller, right? And we could keep them blocked off. The hallway is noticeably colder than these rooms. So with that said, at 63, I was perfectly comfortable. There is a quilt, a down comforter, and then this top quilt on here. And so if we put the flannel sheets on, I think we'll have to turn the heat down, which is not a problem. Peter's office also looks like a disaster zone. He's got his workspace set up. I'm not going to show you that right now because he's getting started with his day. Because it's narrower than mine, his room has all the stuff that was left over from this house that we wanted to keep when we moved in. And it also has, all of his personal stuff that he wants to keep, as well as all of his gaming stuff. So his room has got a lot of stuff in it. So that's it for today. Obviously, today being Monday, it's our first work day at the house, our first weekday at the house. So we're not going to get as much done. James's crew is coming back to work on the house this week. There's some stuff they need to finish up, and that will be great. We have some things we need to ask him. We need to ask him about the shower. We need to ask him about the heat tape. We need to fix the window. The threshold in the kitchen needs to go in so that there's something blocking that wind coming in from outside. So, there's still stuff to be going on. And like I said, the insurance inspector is on his way to do an inspection as well. So I don't know how much progress we'll be making, but I wanted to give you guys an update. And the reason I didn't film over the weekend is that, frankly, it was just difficult, right? It was hard to know what to say. I didn't want to sound like I was complaining all the time because I was so excited to move into the house. And so I wanted to wait until I was in a better frame of mind before I filmed this video. So thanks very much for sticking around, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye for now. But wait, I hear you ask, how is Mr. Darcy settling in? We were concerned about his lack of spatial awareness and this gap between the banister upstairs that allows him to look over and directly down on the stairwell. And he has jumped a couple of times and it has not gone well. So this definitely gives us pause for concern. Oh my gosh, you guys, how cute is this? So on the second morning we were here, he brought us, we call this Fish. It's one of those dangly toys with something on the end, and he brought it up to our bedroom overnight while we were sleeping. Yes, is that you? Are you a masterful hunter? He says, yes, I am. Now stop filming and get me breakfast, for I am a hungry, hungry boy. Whatever you say, Mr. Darcy.